Welcome to the recap of the Cubs' 8-5 loss to the New York Mets at Wrigley Field on Thursday night in Chicago. I'm Ryan McGuffey, in for David Kaplan, who's traveling to Las Vegas to take in the Chicago Bears and Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday afternoon. It's all brought to you by our partners at Wintrust. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs, where you can open up your very own Cubs checking account, or click that QR code so you can find out details on how to get that super cool Cubs debit card that Jed Hoyer and company refused to use at the trade deadline, and it feels like it's catching up to you. Let's talk about Shota Imanaga right out of the gate, because I put a question on Twitter during the game. Do you feel confident right now as the playoffs near and you're going to play in the wild card? That's a lock. What's not a lock yet is that the magic number's still 2. And now you've given the Padres wiggle room that they don't have to sweep over the weekend, because the magic number's 2, because you could have taken matters into your own hands with a win tonight. And Craig Counsell didn't play to win tonight because he let Shota Imanaga, who didn't have it from the start, go all the way into the 6th inning. And it was 6-0 after 4 innings. It was 6-0. It was 6-1 after 4 innings, but 6-0 after Shota Imanaga's 4th inning of work. And you kept trotting him out there. Shota Imanaga had an ERA of 6.75 in the first inning this season. And what happens in the first inning? He gives up 2 runs. And by the way, our partners at Tasty Trade would like you to know, as we break this game down, if you're going to do all your online trading, stocks, options, cryptos, future, make sure you do it at Tasty Trade. Go to tastytrade.com. So it's 2-0 Mets right out of the gate. And here we go. You're thinking, oh boy. And I almost played the over. My bet tonight would have been on Shota Imanaga over 2.5 earned runs allowed, because he's given up now over 30 home runs this season. Lindor hits his 30th in the 3rd. It's 3-0. And once it got to 6-0, because Brett Beatty, who is our apt player of the game, there's your promo code. REKAP25 will save you $25 on any purchase of $150 or more. When Brett Beatty hits the 3-run homer in the 4th and it's 6-0 Mets, it's basically like, let's pack it up and go home because this one's over. Seiya Suzuki would like to say, hold my beer, because for the first time in the second half, we had a Seiya Suzuki sighting. Because coming into tonight, he had hit .201 with 2 homers and 16 RBIs in the second half. He had 2 home runs tonight, his 5th multi-homer game of the season, and he had 4 RBI. He was the one Cub offensively that did something. Defensively, the Cubs were absolutely fantastic. PCA made a catch on the warning track that he might be the only player in baseball that could make the catch. It was a weird situation in the first inning when Dansby Swanson makes a catch as he's running. Him and Matt Shaw collide. He's running towards the brick wall, makes the catch before he falls into the brick wall, and as he falls into the stands, he flips it to Shaw, who throws the runner out at home. But the rule now with Major League Baseball is, as you're falling into the stands, that ball now, each runner on base can advance. There was a little bit of confusion, but it made sense. It was very clear that Dansby Swanson was going into the crowd. Let's get into our Hooters winging it and continue our conversation about Shota Imanaga, who went 5 2/3, 8 earned runs, 9 hits, 2 home runs. That's 31 this season he's allowed, 3 strikeouts and a walk. Pomeranz, Soroka, and Rogers, who were all really good. Rogers got into some real trouble, but Pomeranz was fantastic. An inning and a third, 2 strikeouts. Soroka looked really good. An inning and 1 strikeout. He threw just 8 pitches. And then Rogers worked himself out of a jam. Nolan McLean looks like the real deal, by the way. 11 strikeouts. The Cubs had 14 strikeouts tonight as a team. Outside of Seiya Suzuki, that guy was out there doing whatever he wanted to do. He struck out 11. He allowed 5 on 5 hits, 2 walks, the 3 home runs, the 2 to Seiya Suzuki, and Dansby Swanson did hit his 24th. But Craig Counsell, I got questions, man. Like, what is going on? I understand you have a playoff berth locked up. You don't have home field advantage. There needs to be some type of desperation. Shota Imanaga right now is not in my starting rotation come playoff time. And it was very clear tonight, after 4 innings and allowing 6 runs, that he wouldn't have been out there for the 5th if it were me. And some of these guys are going to be taxed because you're still trying to clinch home field advantage unless you want to go all the way out to San Diego next week and play on the road and piss that away like other teams are doing all across the league, American League, National League, and beyond. Why do you got to be them? You did get the news that Cade Horton is supposed to throw as scheduled tomorrow. He had 2 days off. The MRI, there were some scares. Cap had the rush hour earlier that said the feelings around Wrigley weren't as positive as yesterday. It appears that Cade Horton is going to be okay. We don't know that right now. But Colin Ray, who's scheduled to go tomorrow against the St. Louis Cardinals, it's next man up. He could be in position to make a start if this thing goes 3 games. So could Jamison Tyone, because right now for me, it's not happening. It's not happening with Shota Imanaga. And I think Cap is on that same train as I am. By the way, the pitching matchup's brought to you by Hooters, original Hooters.com, our apt player of the game. I could give it to Seiya Suzuki, who made an appearance for the first time in 3 months. But I'm going to give it to Brett Beatty, who was 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. He had the big 3-run homer to me that broke the game wide open. And I mentioned earlier, he is our apt player of the game. Time now for our Studio 41 look ahead. You got 3 left. That's it. The end of the year, you got your rival. You have the last home game, the last Friday home game, the last Friday 120 home game, and it's against the Cardinals, who have already booked their vacation plans. You have to take care of business. The magic number's 2. Get it done. That's the Studio 41 look at. There are 13 locations. Redo your kitchen. They did Cap's Kitchen. They did some work here. Studio41.com. I'm a little heated tonight about the Cubs. I am, and you should be too. And I guarantee you're worked up about Craig Counsell's decision to leave Shota Imanaga into the 6th inning when he was getting beat up all over the place and the ball was flying left, right, and center. Absolutely ridiculous. This team is limping their way into the playoffs. A team, Chicago hasn't had a playoff team since 2021 with the White Sox, and this Cubs team hasn't been to the playoffs in 2020, and we're all sitting there shaking our heads wondering, how long is it going to last? I'm Ryan McGuffey. I'm in for David Kaplan. Enjoy the rest of your night. Cubs, you got to figure it out, man. You got 3 games to do it. The magic number's 2. Have a great rest of your night. Take that.